Hi, welcome to the Affinity Publisher video tutorial about patterns, selections. Now, if you haven't got Affinity Photo, this will not work, so you might as well stop at this point because the whole thing works using Affinity Photo. Well, I should say within Affinity Publisher, you can go over here to Photo Persona. It just won't be available, unless it is. It'd be very weird if it was available if you didn't have Affinity. However, I've got this design here. I'm just going to remove it. I don't want it. What I want is I'm going to go right back to the start. I'm just going to go over here. I could use artistic. I could use other designs. I'm just going to go for frame text. I'm just going to quickly create something. So frame text, create something, text, insert filler text, and there's some filler text. Now I can change the font. I can change the size, all those sorts of things. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly add, and I could add a photo, etc., but I'm going to add a circle. Just a vector shape, so quickly add a vector shape. However, I'm just going to go up here to the wrap features. There's wrap just at this point, just there. So click there, and I'll go for type, close. So you can see now that was not so great. So I'm just going to reduce it in size. I don't want it to be that big. So now what I can do, I can go to the photo persona. I'm going to go over here and photo persona, and I'm just going to select that. What I want to do, I want to turn that, just go to layer, and I'm going to go to merge visible. So it's just going to remove those now. Don't need those. Obviously, it's nice to keep them because you can always go back and change them. Suddenly you see there's an error or something, you can change it. So, or you want to maybe move the circle, you can change it. So, pixel, make certain that's all. Just trying to change the name, don't want to do that. So, pixel layer, and this pattern feature only works with pixel layers. If it's a pattern or something else, it will not work. So now, what you can do, you can go over here. Actually, could just resize it, but I'm not going to do that. So go to layer, and you can go to new pattern layer from selection. Now you can create a selection as well. So you've got here selection tools. So I could just select a part of that. I'm not going to do that, but you could select part of it and use that. But instead, I'm going to use the whole of the layer. So layer, and go down to new pattern layer from selection. And what you can see the design there. Now you've still got obviously everything there, and you can rotate it, you can shear it, all those sort of things. And also I can remove the pixel layer. I don't want that, obviously it's throwing the picture. So you can see your design there, just repeated off to eternity. Now, what you can do, and there's options there, mirror, and you've got other options up there, but that's by the by. I just wanted to show you can do that. Now, what you can also do, you can go to layer, and you've got new live filter layer. And you can use blurs, you can use those as colour, as procedural textures. Great, loads and loads of great features with that. But I'm going to go with distort, and I'm going to use perspective because I want a 3D-like effect. And then, of course, just got to go down there, and you can then distort that design. You can see you can create all kinds of distort. Now, of course, it's a pixel layer, so obviously you push it too far, it won't look brilliant in the end. But there you've got that design there, and you can see pattern and perspective. The pattern is still active, so simply just go to the pattern, and then you can modify the pattern. You can still rotate it, still accessible. Now, you might find that, of course, the end result is you have to go back to perspective and change and tweak that. And that's always quite easy. Just double-click perspective and change that if you want. Obviously, in this case, you probably need to use a navigator to go out a bit. So pattern there, and you can still simply change that, move that around, and create all kinds of different designs. You can also, what you can do, you can go to layer, and you can duplicate it. So go down there to duplicate, and you can combine that. So you can see you can create quite a bit of a mess of different designs as well on top, which you may or may not want. I'm not going to have that. Just got to have this design. Otherwise, it just becomes too confusing. However, you can apply obviously other effects as well, and you can also apply obviously go to layer and adjustment layers. Obviously, in this case, it's black. It's probably not so, but there's a variety of adjustments you could use as well. However, once you've done all this, what you can do, you can go over to Affinity Publisher, and you can go to Publisher Persona again. You can come out, and you're outside now. You're back in normal space, normal Affinity Publisher space or persona. And you can still modify this. Even though you've got, notice along the top, there's no option for this. If you go to layer, quite often I do this, I go to layer and I think, where's the feature? I think that's very odd, very strange, it's gone, but it's there. And you can still see it's a pattern there. And you can also still double click on the perspective. So you can still see that. And again, you notice it's still within the persona. So you can still modify that type. And pattern again. You can move that around. And of course, you can still duplicate that design. Now, what you can also do, of course, you could use this in many different ways. Use it with other effects as well. And of course, use it with images and more. So if you want to quickly add a picture frame, add some pictures and manipulate, wrap around, all those sorts of things, all still available. But you'll notice that this, well, that one, I don't want to select that one. This is a pattern. Probably best to do sorts of things is probably to go, and you can always go to layer and you can rasterize it. Again, you can always make certain you've still got it. So rasterize, you've got your there, and it's all been done. It's frozen, and then you can add additional text. Go to the frame tool and add additional text to your image, and so on, so on. So layer, text, go down to insert full text, and that sort of stuff. Whole load of different designs, and you notice that weirdly the still seems to be following the shape, so very odd. However, I hope you found this of interest. Always adding new tutorials about Affinity Publisher, obviously Photo, Designer, and many, many other applications as well. Photoshop, of course, Critter, etc. Also, if you've got any comments, any things that you think I've done wrong, anything I've done right, please put in the comments. Always appreciated. And also a dislike or like. Thank you much.